What's good? What's good? It's the one, the only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. Listen, bro. Happy Valentine's Day to the ones that are celebrating, man. To the ones that are single, bro. Keep grinding. Focus on your money, bro. That's what comes first. All right. Anyways, listen. So we have Edgar Berlanga in the news, right? So Edgar Berlanga has decided to sign with Matchroom, with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom's promotion, and of course, so that means he'll be fighting under the zone. All right. Now, this is kind of, I'm not shocked because of the end goal in this situation is Canelo, all right, who doesn't want a big payday. So I'm not shocked that he went this route. But the only thing is, what are the fights that, my only questions are, what are the fights that are going to get him, well, my only question is, should I say, what are the fights that are going to get him to a Canelo fight? It's, to me, it'll be mind-boggling to know that Edgar Berlanga gets a fight before David Benavidez does, But you know how I do it. I got to do the research for y'all. You guys sit back and relax, all right? So, shout out to BoxingScene.com. It says, Edgar Berlanga, Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing agreed to a multi-fight promotional deal. Edgar Berlanga has chosen a new promoter. BoxingScene.com has learned that the undefeated super middleweight contender and Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing have agreed to terms on a multi-fight agreement. The promotional plan for Berlanga, whose fight will now be streamed by DAZN through its exclusive content deal with Matchroom, is for him to fight Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez as part of the contract. So I figured that that was the end goal. He wanted to get a fight with Canelo Alvarez, and here we are. It says Alvarez, who has also worked with Hearn's Matchroom Boxing. Oh, I'm sorry. It says Alvarez also works with Hearn's Matchroom Boxing. DAZN has streamed 8 of the undisputed super middleweight champions' past 9 fights, the last 2 of which were pay-per-view main events. Even though DAZN was supposed to be, the whole going against pay-per-view, they end up going with pay-per-view. But that's for another video. Berlanga has chosen Hearn's profitable proposal over lucrative offers from Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotion and Al Haymon Premier Boxing Champions. The 25-year-old Berlanga is expected to make his Matchroom and DAZN debut within the next couple of months, but the date and the opponent for the popular Puerto Rican return has not been solidified. The Brooklyn native is the 4th ranking contender for Alvarez's IBF and WBO super middleweight titles. Berlanga ranked 6th by the WBA and 12th by the WBC for the 2 other 168-pound crowns Alvarez owns. This is his next fight. In his next fight, Alvarez is expected to box WBO interim super middleweight champ John Ryder on May 6th at the venue to be determined in Mexico. Berlanga became a free agent last month when he left longtime promoter Top Rank and agreed to part ways. Okay, we already know this. So it says, England's Hearns will try to get Berlanga back on track after a tumultuous 2022 in which Berlanga remained undefeated yet drew some criticism for his performance in back-to-back 10-round unanimous decision wins and served a 6-month suspension for attempting to bite his most recent opponent. Berlanga hasn't fought since June 11th, the night he outboxed Colombian contender Alexis Angulo at Madison Square Garden's Hulu Theater. And the New York State Athletic Commission suspended Berlanga for 6 months and fined him for $10,000 following a 10-round battle as he tried to bite Angulo on his left shoulder during the 7th round. So, that was his last fight. It says Berlanga's win against Angulo marked his 4th straight fight, which has gone the distance. If you guys remember, Edgar Berlanga they were trying to sell him on being this, because he was 16-0 with 16 knockouts. All of his knockouts came in the first round, and he hasn't had a knockout. Like he's been on a 4-win, he's still undefeated, but the last 4 of his fights went to the decision. So as he stepped up in competition, he has not had a knockout, since. he previously attracted attention for knocking out each of his first 16 professional opponents in the first round. It's basically just what I just got done saying. So, yeah, man, I don't know about this. Let's talk about it for a minute, though. All right, so I want to break down. Let's talk about Edgar Berlanga and his career a little bit, but then let's talk about the possible opponents that he could be facing, how likely it is that he could face those, and because obviously we know the end goal in this situation is Canelo, right? If you promise the Canelo fight, you're guaranteed to get a fighter, right? At least that's what it sounds like for these fighters these days. All right, so we have Edgar Berlanga, who has the record of 20-0 with 16 knockouts, right? His last knockout was in 2020 against Ulysses Sierra or whatever. Listen, I don't it was a gift and a curse for Edgar Berlanga. It was a lot of hype behind him because he was 16-0 with 16 knockouts, and all those knockouts came in the first round. But see, the reason why that's a gift and a curse is you got to understand. Yeah, that stuff sounds good, but the thing about it is, guess what? Out of 16 fights, guess what? He went the total of 16 rounds, and that means he doesn't get the experience. So it's a gift and a curse, right? It's a gift because everybody wants to see a knockout. That's what makes you that's what sells you as a fighter. That's what makes you a star, right? But it's a curse because you're not getting that experience. You're not getting that experience to work, to learn on what you really need to work on, how to cut off the ring or something like that. And if you guys notice, every fighter since his knockout, he stepped up just a little bit in class, and each fighter, these fighters aren't, well, except for his last fighter in Gulo, but the others, like they've moved, they're movers, right? And he does not know how to fight a mover. He doesn't know how to fight anybody that knows how to move on him, and that's gonna be slick. That's why I feel like one of the reasons why he didn't sign with PBC, because I think as much as people like to criticize Plant for not having power, even though he displayed power against Anthony Durrell, I think Plant would have the style of a nightmare style for a guy like Edgar Berlanga. I think Edgar Berlanga wants to stay as far away from Caleb Plant as he possibly can, because that style will not only frustrate him, but it'll make him look crazy, all right? So, so once he started stepping up, he started losing a knockout streak, right? Now, signing with, I figured he was gonna either sign with Matchroom. I did a video on this because of Canelo, but possibly with the PBC because they seem to have the majority of the big names in the super middleweight division or whatnot. All right, so let's talk about but since he's with DAZN and Matchroom, let's talk about the possibilities, because Matchroom and DAZN, DAZN, they work with Matchroom and Golden Boy, so it's possible that he could fight. And these are the fighters, the fighters that's at middleweight or super middleweight between DAZN and Matchroom and Golden Boy. But again, both promotional companies fight under DAZN. But you got Shane Mosley Jr., who has the record of 18-4 with 10 knockouts. He's at middleweight. I wouldn't, maybe they, I don't know. He signed with Golden Boy. They've worked together before, Golden Boy and Matchroom. So it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe they get him, to move up to 168, possible. A fight that would really sell within like the next year or so. I think a fight that would be amazing is Edgar Berlanga versus Jaime Munguia. I think at 168, bro, that fight would be a good seller. It'd be a good seller. It would definitely be a success. I think that'll be an entertaining matchup. Both fighters haven't really fought a big name. But I think that would be an amazing matchup, right? You have Beck the Bully. Oh, well, and by the way, Jaime Munguia has the record of 41-0 with 33 knockouts. You have Beck the Bully, who's at super middleweight. Jaime Munguia is still at middleweight, but he's flirted with the idea of moving up to super middleweight. But Beck the Bully, who has the record of 11-1 with 9 knockouts. Prospect coming up, his only defeat is to Gabe Rosado. You have Gabe Rosado himself, who is now moving up to light heavyweight to fight Gilberto Ramirez. But he has the record of 26-16 with 15 knockouts. Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, who's at middleweight, but last fight was at super middleweight, who has the record of 42-2 with 37 knockouts. All right. On Matchroom side, On Matchroom side, you have John Ryder, who's about to face Canelo. I can see actually that fight. I'm pretty sure. I'm more than sure that fight will happen either later this year or next year, as a measuring stick for Edgar Berlanga. So I believe John Ryder will be one of the guys. Diego Pacheco. Hey, let me tell you something. That dude right there, I've seen him so many times, and I've seen him spar David Benavidez. That dude is nice. That dude is really nice. Diego Pacheco, that dude is really, really nice, bro. I've seen him in there. He has the record of 17-0 with 14 knockouts. You have Aaron Bowen, who has the record of 20-3 with 0 knockouts. I'm more than sure, or I'm pretty sure. I'm not gonna say more than sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if they match him up with I wouldn't be surprised if they match him up with Aaron Bowen. Just as, you know, the guy has no knockouts, right? Which is something that you've never seen. I mean, the guy already hasn't fought any big names, but he has absolutely no knockouts. So I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up, being his Matchroom debut against Aaron Bowen, just to, play it safe and get a name on his resume, possibly, make him look good or whatnot. That to me seems like the most likely that what they'll end up doing. And obviously the end goal, Canelo Alvarez. All right. Listen. I would be I'm not gonna lie to you. I would be highly pissed if we get a fight between Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez before we get a fight between David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez. I just would be highly pissed, and I don't care if that's wrong, if people disagree with that or not. I just don't think that like makes any sense whatsoever. Look, Edgar Berlanga I feel like right now it's way too soon. I don't think this year or even next year he should be trying to fight with Canelo. Or my bad, he shouldn't be trying to fight with Canelo. I mean, because it's just, like I said, it's way too soon. But I mean, he's too green right now. He's just way too green right now. So I mean, I just named a list of people that could be potential opponents. A lot of the people on the list. I mean, for him, for where he's at right now, these are a lot of these names are pretty good names. Some might have to move up, but we might not. Regardless, man, it's interesting to see how they're going to carry the career of Edgar Berlanga. So let me know what you guys think. Who do you want to see Edgar Berlanga fight next? Do you think he'll be ready for Canelo within the next few years? Like, comment, subscribe, but what do I know?